Portable computers are everywhere these days. In fact, your modern smartphone is just a computer that can fit into your pocket. However, in the 1980s, transporting your favorite personal computer was not always efficient. Take a look at this Commodore 64 home configuration as you would have commonly seen in the 1980s. Computer, monitor, disk drive, and required cables to connect them all. Not exactly portable by any stretch of the imagination. Fortunately, with regards to the Commodore 64, there was a solution, the Commodore SX-64.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up?
On the outset, its form factor resembles other portables of the era. But the metallic silver paint with black and teal accents make this such a good-looking machine. The keyboard is attached to the bezel, making it easy to remove and use. Now, the cable that connects the keyboard to the computer is removable. However, this cable is like gold. As you can tell, it's a proprietary cable. So if you find an SX-64 that does not have this keyboard cable included, it's probably going to be pretty cheap, and for a good reason. I'm sure you could cobble something together, make it work, but this cable is almost impossible to find by itself. The disk drive built into the SX-64 is the same technology you'd see in an external Commodore 1541 disk drive. There is a storage area where a second drive was planned to be used in a different version of the SX-64, but it was never released. Honestly, I'm not really sure what you would need storage for. The cartridge slot is accessible from the top of the machine, which is kind of a weird location. This was the first portable computer to contain a color screen. The 5-inch CRT display is surprisingly sharp, and you have to consider that this screen is over 30 years old. Near the disk drive is a small panel which conceals some controls for the monitor and a disk drive reset button. One of these controls the volume of the internal speaker. However, the SX-64 does not have a system reset, which is pretty irritating. Disassembling and servicing the SX-64 is not as simple as its desktop counterparts. There's a lot of 1980s technology packed into this case. The main logic board is situated near the right side of the case, acting as a backplane for the other boards connected to it, such as the disk drive controller. Everything is surprisingly modular and removable with relative ease. The cassette and RF ports are noticeably absent from the SX-64. Not sure why Commodore decided to leave this out. Marketed as the executive computer, the SX-64 has an adjustable handle that can also function as a stand. The handle helps make the SX-64 a true portable. Well, portable is a relative term, honestly. It does weigh about 23 pounds or about 10.5 kilos and requires AC power at all times. It's not going to invert your belly button, but it will make your arms tired when you haul it to your local coffee shop. Or to that Monday morning conference at work.
Put the foot across.
Sorry I'm late. Traffic. Anyone have the Wi-Fi password? The SX-64 retailed for $995 US, which is the equivalent of almost $2,300 US today. I found this particular unit during one of my computer hunts and was completely surprised to see it sitting on the shelf. These can be expensive if they are in fully working condition. Those of you who watch my channel know that I love old portables, and the SX-64 is one of my favorites.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. In a world of high technology and ever-changing modes,